Well, hello. I wanted to do a quick video and explain why there hasn't been much content recently. So you'll have noticed there haven't been many rover videos this year. Basically, I've been working on the house and a few other things, and that sparked me to make a decision to change the name of the channel and focus the channel slightly. So still going to be a lot of content on the rover, but the next time you come to the channel, you'll see the name will change. It's going to be called Mid-Century Living. Now, it really describes my kind of broader interests. So you may have heard me talk about another car I've got, Alpha GTV from the 60s, 70s. So I'm going to do some content on that as well, but also some content on the house. So I have a 1960s house, doesn't have a lot of period features at the moment, so we're renovating it slowly. It's going to take some time. But we're going to renovate it and add in a lot more mid-century 50s, 60s kind of features into the house. So I'm going to do some content on that. And also some other kind of interests of mine, things like hi-fi. So I've got a valve amp and some other kind of 50s, 60s hi-fi equipment. I'm going to do some content on that, make some videos. Things like furniture from the 50s and 60s as well, and just really anything from that period. Talk about the period, talk about the life in that time. Really interests me, and I think you'll find it interesting as well. So I hope you stick around. As I say, next time you come, you'll see the channel has changed name. I didn't want to just drop that. And yeah, hopefully you'll stick around and we'll make some interesting content. Okay, we're back at base. This is the house that we bought. It was built in the early 60s. It doesn't have a lot of mid-century character as it stands, so there's a lot of work to be done on it. It's also all needs decorating inside. It was probably done last in the 1990s, so it wants a lot of work doing on it. We're also going to have some remodelling, things like new windows, a dormer window built, and the next thing that we have done will be the hallway, the porch. I'm going to have new windows and door, and I'm going to build a porchway as well. And all of that will be in mid-century style. Don't want it to look like a cheap copy of mid-century, or we don't want it to look like a museum. Kind of, we want well-worn period mid-century features in the house. So that's the plan. You can see on the right the garage. It's a fairly large single garage. Would like to get that turned into a double garage at some point, but that's probably last on the list. We've had the bathrooms done already, but the rest of the house pretty much needs everything doing to it. So you can see the rover on the right as well, and let's go and look in the garage and look at the Alpha. So there's the rover that we've just been out in, working well, no major issues. Still needs lots of work doing, but yeah, the rover's doing well. And then in the garage, buried, is the Alpha. So this needs a fair amount of work doing to it as well. It is actually in reasonable condition, doesn't look it, because the paintwork is it needs a respray. I've tried polishing it recently, but it just won't hold the shine. It's just dead. I've tried cutting it back and all sorts. It is pretty dusty as well, which makes it look worse. But this car I've had for nearly 20 years. I actually used to use it as my only car back in the 2000s, and then I had a lot of restoration done on it, and it's unfortunately not been used much recently, and it's kind of been in storage. So I want to get this back on the road. The brakes need attention. At least one of the calipers is seized. Bodywork wise, it's going to need a respray. And the biggest problem, well, the biggest issue really is the engine bay. I want to really tidy up the engine bay. It's in serious need of restoration. Just lets the thing down completely. Also, there are some issues such as the carbs need rebuilding. It's got 2 twin choke Delautos, and I think ethanol in the fuel has got to the accelerator pumps. So they're different to the SUs in that they actually pump fuel in when you accelerate. So it's a bit of a nightmare to drive because at the moment the engine just dies when you accelerate, which isn't good. But the engine needs a lot of tidying up as well. So I'm going to basically strip out most of the ancillaries, respray the inside of the engine bay, and recondition everything and rebuild it. So so that's going to be a bit of a project. Probably take some time because there's going to be a lot of fiddly, replating things, clearing rust off things, cleaning the engine bay up. And then, as I say, it's going to need a respray once I've done the engine bay and the brakes. Interior wise, it's in pretty good shape. Well, in very good shape actually. So it was not bad when I bought the car, and then I've had the seats recovered, done a lot of work on it myself as well. Fitted a period radio and fitted new carpets. So it just needs a bit of a clean. It's just dusty really, but the interior is in really nice condition. A year or two ago I refurbished the steering wheel as well, so that's in good shape. So yeah, it just needs a bit of a clean, and then the car should be drivable. As you can imagine, this is really different to the Rover. It's low down, it's very responsive, fairly quick. I mean, it feels quicker than the Rover, but probably in reality it's not that much different in terms of acceleration. But it's just a lot more responsive, a lot harder riding as well. So it's a really nice contrast, I think. This is a 72 2000 GTV. This model, the 105 Series Coupe, was launched I think in 62. So only 4 years after the Rover. So it was designed in the late 50s. So not dissimilar to the Rover in terms of the period of the basic car. And it was it's a very advanced car for its age. I mean, it's got 4-wheel disc brakes. It's got twin cam engine, 2 twin choke carburetors. Twin servos on the brakes, you can just see over in the corner. So 5-speed gearbox. So a very advanced car for its age, and also very expensive. I mean, in the UK this was as much as an E-Type to buy new, partly because of the import duties, I think, but it wasn't a cheap car. And so it's a really nice contrast to drive this versus the Rover as well. So the aim is to work on this over the next few months. I'll post videos and include content on the channel about this car, and also the house as I'm working on that. And also, I want to create some content about the 50s and 60s, mid-century design, all sorts of different things. So hopefully you'll stick around. After this video, as I say, the channel's going to rebrand to Mid-Century Living. Have a quick look at the website. There's not a lot of content on there, but bookmark it if you want. and yeah, we'll see where the channel goes from here. One of the things that I'm going to do this week is sort out the headrests on my car. When I bought the car, it came with the P5 headrests. These are sometimes called ET headrests because they look a little bit like ET's head. That's where they go into the back of the seat, and obviously they are shaped somewhat like ET's head, quite appropriate. You adjust them with this button on the side that you press in, and it allows you to set them wherever you want. And my car came with these. They're not in great condition, but I'm going to get the front seats covered anyway, so they're good enough for now. But these weren't wired up. They have this plate which I've just recovered on the bottom, screws on the bottom there, and then I don't know if it was standard on all of the cars with headrests. I don't think it was. Some of them have a reading light in the bottom of the headrest, so it's just a normal kind of festoon bulb mounting, and then there is, let's get this thing that goes around the bulb, and I believe that's how they came from the factory. There was no lens on the bulb, the reading light. You have a switch here, so you can switch these on and off. They weren't wired up on my car, so I've put wiring into the car for these. There's basically a positive from the courtesy lights and a switch. Just a positive from the I think the front cigarette lighter. It taps into. And then an earth, and they go to the switch. One of the changes I've made with my car, I don't know why I did it, I just kind of thought of it and thought it'd be quite nice, is that I've also run a third wire from the rear courtesy light door switches. So these lights will come on with when you open the rear doors. Non-standard, but I don't know, I thought of it and thought that would be quite interesting to do. So I've got 3 wires going to this. Mine had no wiring at all in, so I've bought a coiled cable. I believe it was a coiled cable that Rover used, and I've just put black 3-pin connector. If you were doing this as standard, there would just be a black 2-pin connector. I think it was kind of like, well, I have seen 1 or 2 photos, I think, of the original style connectors, not exactly like this, but it's hidden in the back of the seat anyway. And so the wire goes up the back of the seat, this plugs in, and then this goes into the headrest. So as I say, I think this is how they came. So the bulb, I'm using LED bulbs, the bulb just goes in there, and then that goes around it, and I guess it makes replacing the bulb easy. It's always kind of felt a bit unfinished to me, so I've made these lenses, printed these lenses to go on my car. Again, not standard, but I just thought while I was fiddling around I'd do it. So I'm going to put bulbs on. I mean, because this is an LED, it's not going to go anyway, because it would be a bit of a faff. You'd have to take this apart to get to the bulb. But as I say, being an LED, it should last pretty much forever based on how much the car gets used. So I'm also going to fit one of these lenses on. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to get on with wiring this up. There's 2 wires going to the bulb, there's a switch, and that's pretty much it. So pretty simple. So I won't bore you with doing that. I'll get on with that and then bring you back. So let's get on with that. So there's the wiring done. This, as I say, goes down to the seat, the back of the seat. There's the switch to turn the light on, and then you've got the two terminals on the back of the light. That's with the lens fitted, just makes it a bit neater. So I'm going to just get this in the headrest now, if I can find that. Okay, move that forwards. So this has like a cable clip that bolts to one of the mounting bolts, so I will get that in, and then there's 4 screws that go in the bottom here. Just make sure that doesn't get caught. There's 4 screws that go to hold that in place, and then I'll connect it up and we can see, fingers crossed, that it works. Okay, that goes there, and then let's make sure I haven't got any cables trapped. Okay, and that goes in there. This comes down to the wiring in the seat, and then we can try and fit it. So these just has 4 self-tapping screws in the bottom, just to hold this bottom plate on. I've de-rusted this bottom plate. It was actually, on my car, surprisingly rusty. I'm not aware that it was original. I'm assuming because there's no wiring in the seats that somebody added these headrests after the car, later in the car's life. Just never bothered fitting the wiring. There was a loom. I mean, it's only 2 wires, but there was a loom that Rover did. I've seen one on eBay. It's just 2 wires in plastic sleeving, so I just made my own and ran it under the carpet and into the seat. One of the things actually that I was going to say, I'm using LED lights in these, and you may know this already, but you can get 2 types. Well, there's 2 main types. There's cool white and warm white. I mean, different brands have different color temperatures, but generally, there's cool white and warm white. I definitely tend to prefer warm white in old cars. I just think it has much more of a period look, very more similar to an incandescent bulb. It's just personal preference, but I am using warm white LEDs. They're not as bright, but they do look more like a bulb, traditional bulb. Okay, so let's get this in the car. One of the things I had to figure out was how to remove this seat back from the seat to get the cabling in. This isn't very pretty, but it's only temporary. As I say, I'm going to get the front seats recovered probably over the winter. But actually removing this seat back was a bit of a puzzle, so I may as well just show you that. So the headrests have this screw which just stops them, fixes them in position. They can slide up and down, and then this holds them in position. The seat back at the bottom has push fittings, a lot like the door trim. They just clip in 2 or 3 each side at the bottom, but then at the top there's like a keyhole latches, so keyhole fixings, I don't know what they're called, where there are screws in the seat, and then there are plates in this, I'll show you them in a minute, and you push them on and then slide it down. So if I pull this up, that comes off and you've got access to the seat back. These are, let me show you this. So this is the seat back, and also this is a P5B. It may be different on P5s, earlier ones, but you've got 2 clips either side, same as you use for a door trim. Yeah, there's 2 either side, and then there are these. Now, these are a bit bent because someone obviously has tried to pry this off. I didn't do this, but there are 4 of these kind of slide fittings. So there's a screw. Well, there's a screw missing there, but there's a screw there, and the screw head goes in, and then you slide this trim down, and the screw head holds it in. Why they did that, I have no idea. This is the hole for the screw, and if we look, this is the seat belt fitting. I'll just try tightening that up. See, the seat headrest just slides in and down, and then that screw goes in to the back of the seat and holds it in position. And then this is the cable loom I made up. As I said earlier, mine's got 3 wires because I've taken the purple black feed from the rear courtesy light switches, door switches, so that these will come on with the interior light in the back. I just thought, why not? But you can also switch them on manually as well. So if I connect that up, you can see that comes on. Then if I'll press the door lock in and it goes out, but then I can manually turn it on and off. So that all works. So I will just tidy this up a bit and get the seat back on, and then we'll look at it a bit later when it's a bit darker. So there it's all fitted, the seat back's on, screw is in, and that comes on, and then you can manually turn it on and off as well. So they're quite nice. You know, kind of little reading light in the back is quite a nice touch, I think. But front seats all need redoing. That's on the list for the winter. You might be able to see I've put these door trims in as well. So I've finished this side. I think in the last video the car was still in the garage. It's now a few weeks later. Somebody organised a local classic car night, and I kind of thought, well, the Rover's almost drivable, so I got it out and took it to this classic car evening, and I've been driving the car a fair bit since. So I'm doing these little bits while it's out. You know, the weather's lovely at the moment, middle of summer, so I'm just doing little bits on it while I can. Nothing major mechanically, although I have had a stainless steel exhaust fitted. So, as I said, I've had a stainless steel exhaust fitted. The exhaust on my car had leaked since I'd bought it. I tried to sort it out, but it was, I don't know where it was from. It wasn't rotten, but it just wouldn't fit properly. None of the sliding joints would. There was enough kind of overlap, so it was almost like it had been made too small slightly. So I bit the bullet and had a custom stainless steel exhaust made. a few days ago, and I am really happy with it. One of the things I wanted, I mean, 99% of the car is original, well, as original as I can make it. The one thing that I wanted was to have a bit more of a V8 exhaust note with the car. Not loud, obviously, but just so that you knew it was a V8. And so where I took it to in High Wycombe, they were happy to order in different bits, try them out. we could start the car, listen to it, make adjustments as we went. So basically it's pretty standard, but we deleted the rear box, so it only has the one main silencer box. The rear box actually didn't make that much difference to the sound noise level. It just added having the rear box just took away a little bit of the bass from the exhaust note, that kind of V8 burble, which I was a bit worried about. Well, maybe on the road it'll be a bit loud. It isn't at all. You can hear the exhaust a little bit more than standard, but you wouldn't call it loud. In fact, I mean, compared to the previous exhaust, which was blowing in a couple of places, it's incredibly quiet, so really happy with it. Makes driving in the car much nicer. The car actually runs better. I mean, some of that might just be perception because it sounds nicer, but it feels as though it runs better. And so yeah, I mean, it was just over £1,000 fitted, but I think it was worth it. I'm sure you may be able to get cheaper, maybe slightly, but I'm really happy with it. And the fact that they were happy to try different things until I kind of got it the way I wanted it to sound was really good. So I did think about buying a stainless system from J.R. Wadham's. I almost went down that route, but in the end I just thought, oh well, let's get a custom stainless steel exhaust made. So yeah, that's what I've done. So I will do some video maybe in the next one of driving it. I want to do another driving video. It's driving pretty nicely. It's leaking oil, the gearbox sump, which I'm going to do when the car's off the road again in the winter. Also the steering box I'm going to replace, get the seats done, and that's it then. I mean, the interior, there's a few little bits to finish. The kick panels and the sill, stainless steel sill trims I need to put back on, but yeah, it's quite drivable now, and it's really nice to drive. Really enjoying driving it. It's been a bit hot, no air conditioning obviously, so it's been a bit hot recently, especially when it was 40 degrees. I didn't drive it then, but I've got no worries about temperature. Stays very steady. Got no worries about how the car would run in that temperature. It's just I don't think I would hold up very well, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, bit more progress. As I say, in the next video we'll do a driving video, I think, and I want to go to a couple of shows, so I'll do some videos of that as well. See you in the next video.